What up? What up? What up? Welcome back to the Bad Podcast, Brad and Dawain. And man, everybody take your left foot, pick it up, put it on the clutch because we about to drop a gear.
Put it on the clutch, drop a gear, baby. Hey,
Brad, what we
so
talking about today, man?
we're going to talk about dropping gears. All right. So, in today's world, traits like grit, endurance, and resilience, they're becoming endangered. Most people won't sit in discomfort. Most people tap out when it gets hard. We've been conditioned to want fast wins, quick dopamine, instant results. But the finish line, that only belongs to those who endure the middle.
Let's get it.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
What it look like, what it be like, what it do. Back in here, another episode of the Bad Podcast, Brad and Dwayne. I am Dwayne, he's Brad, and we are in here, man, with another great episode. Happy Monday, man. Those that are listening on Monday, if you're catching it later, replay, still saying whatever that day is, we're happy that you're joining us. Always love to shout out the listeners, man. Thank you guys so much for all the love you show and all the posts and the tags. We appreciate it so much, man. So it makes it fun. That we get to do this for a living. You know, it's definitely a blessing, man. So Brad, before we jump in, man, anything you want to say to the folks about, just whatever?
Yeah. Full. I had a live this past week with a bunch of ladies from all over the East Coast, and one of the neat things to see when you get into those lives is just the camaraderie from all different backgrounds. The demographics are a wide array, and it's just neat to see people come together through fitness and growth. And so this past week, I also had an event that I did for a national bank here in my local town. And one of the things that was in common with everybody there was, everybody from a different background. And the one thing that we preached the entire day was let your free flag fly. And we'll talk about that a little bit today throughout this podcast. But just really neat to see the positive energy from our folks.
I love it, man. I love it. So yeah, big shout out to you guys. Like I said, we appreciate it so much. So, all right, Brad, let's get into it, man. We facing the hill, we facing the challenge. I like what your quote mentioned about, a lot of people just chasing the dopamines and the fix and the feel good. I think we all are guilty of that here and there, man. So yeah, man, let's talk about it. Maybe. There you go. Now let's talk about it.
It's been a minute since that's happened. I don't know what's going on with the internet today. So obviously I've been training a lot on the bike lately. I've been spending hours on the asphalt, a bunch of hours on the spin bike. Trying to keep my weight up, but I'm burning around 5,000 to 8,000 calories a day, and I'm trying to keep up. But one of the things that I ran into this past week was that feeling and that emotion of wanting to quit and feeling like I should quit. And the reason that it happened is because I had a 50 miler, and so what I do is I ride out 25 miles and I turn around and ride back 25 miles. Very simple concept. And what had happened is I reached a mile 24, and at mile 24 I was at the top of a hill, and I knew I had to go down the hill, and I looked at it, I'm like, oh man, like this is just terrible timing. But that's how it is. Like you go through peaks and valleys in everything that you do in life. And so I got to the top of the hill, looked down. All right, well, I got to go for it. I went down to the bottom of the hill, got turned around, started to climb, and every single pedal that went around, I thought, man, I would just like to turn around and find a different route, right? And instead of doing that, it's important to drop a gear, slow down, don't stop. And you can apply that to anything. A lot of people would rather turn around and not face that obstacle, not face that hill. But when I'm thinking about the grand scheme of what I'm attempting to do, I'm trying to ride from Jamestown to Orlando. I'm going to face some hills. Every hill that I put in my training is going to help me overcome those hills when I'm out there on the actual journey from Jamestown to Orlando. And that's how life is won, right? Like that's
Yep.
that's why that's why those that face their adversities and face their hardships, those are the ones that win, because they're not running, they're not afraid, and I don't want to say they're not afraid. They have fear, it's
Yeah.
there, but if you fear it, chase it. I've been facing that mantra all year. So drop a gear, Kaizen, one step at a time, keep going.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we talk about it all the time. It's easy to try to find the easy way out. Like
Mhm.
that's it's easy to do that, man. And I nobody would have known, Brad, if you would have took a different route.
Right?
Like
No,
no
no, no. Hmm.
nobody would have known, you did your 50. Nobody would have known you avoided, going back up that hill. No, and being able to do that, in that moment.
Hmm.
Because again, like you said, there's going to be hills, especially what is it, West Virginia? There's going to be mountains. There's going to be, it's gonna,
Yeah, West Virginia.
yeah, yeah. There's going to be those things, and what you do, how you train, determines how you perform, man. And that's why I remember I go back to seventh grade basketball. I think like running suicides, and you trying to figure out like where I thought we was just gonna be shooting the ball and playing some pickup. No, you're running suicides. You're doing drills. And what you don't know in the moment is you're preparing for the game. You're preparing for, the game speed. You're preparing for the endurance to be able to run back and forth and change directions. And, but a seventh grader that, just naturally can shoot a little bit and dribble a little bit, you think, oh man, what is this?
Mhm.
But it's that training, man, that thing that it don't look pretty.
Right.
It don't look pretty. It's not fun,
Mhm.
but it prepares you for what
Yeah.
you get ready for.
I think we've talked about this before with Steph Curry. He made 200 layups, 500 layups before he went and shot that 7 footer. And he's arguably the best shooter that's ever played the
He
game of
is.
basketball, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he is, right?
Yeah.
And but a lot of kids, they don't see that work that these elites put in. Like Tom Brady, nobody outworked Tom Brady, and they see what he does on Sunday. We've talked about the preparation game, and I'm gonna read something else from my new book, this upcoming book. There will be days you're running on fumes, days when your body is tired, your heart isn't in it. The only sound the only sound is your own doubt echoing back in the mirror. And on those days, the pull has to win. So the pull is essentially your why. And I think we talked
Mm.
about this like 4 podcasts ago when I first started writing this book. Because what happens is, whether you're getting on a stage like you are, or whether you're riding your bike a long ways, or whether you're just trying to get a promotion or level up in life, or whatever it is, what you have to do is you got to have that deep rooted pull, that deep rooted why. Hey, why am I going to stay in the game when my heart ain't in it? When nobody's
Mhm.
watching, like you said, like nobody's watching me. When I
Mm-mm.
go down that hill, when you're cutting your calorie, the curtains are drawn, the blinds are pulled down, like nobody's
Nobody
watching.
sees.
What do you do in those moments?
Yeah.
Dawain, you keep carrying on. I
I
gotta
got you.
take a quick time out. I'll be right back.
I got you. I got you. Yeah, no. So, and and here's the thing when it comes to the nobody's watching with the calorie thing. I prep my meals, and sometimes, I weigh everything. That's one thing. That's part of the process is weighing all of the food and all of the stuff. And so, with E2M, folks are familiar with E2M, that scoop of peanut butter. When you're on E2M and you're not using the scale, that scoop of peanut butter can be a little scoop or it could be a big scoop. Nobody knows. But when you're on prep, it got to be the exact number. And so, I'm proud of myself to be able to weigh that spoon and scrape off, and not lick my fingers, and like get a paper towel, and or I think I posted in the group one time, I fixed my daughter some ice cream or something and it get on my finger and I'll be like, I go, I gotta go wipe it off, man, because it's those minor details. And you would think, oh man, just 1 or 2, because that's the first thing people say, man, that aren't on a journey.
Right,
Oh, that's just a little bit. That ain't
right.
going.
Yep.
That ain't gonna hurt you. That ain't, I love my neighbors. I could see it from out the window, but they're always offering stuff,
Yep.
especially the wife. It's like, I was like, yeah, I already ate my calories for the day. Oh, well, this is low fat beer. This is this is light.
Always.
It's not gonna hurt you.
Mm-mm.
But it's those small details, man, when you do what you do when nobody's watching, when when you're in the comfort of your home, when you're at an event and nobody's trying to hold you to that higher standard, man, that is the thing that will always separate you in your journey.
Yeah, and you got to make it personal, and that's
For sure.
these are personal journeys to both of us. And I call it the board of discipline. And if you can imagine a 2x4, if you bend that sucker, and you put some real pressure to the outsides of that thing, you bend it. It's going to come back to right at its natural form. Then you bend it
Hmm.
again, it's going to come back to its natural form. But if you bend that sucker 50 times, you bend that sucker 75 times, what's going to happen is you're going to get some splinters in there, and it's going to break.
Hmm.
That's letting those low calorie beers into your system. That's cutting the corner and taking the easy way out. That's saying yes to those dopamine hits, and saying no to discipline. And
Hmm.
every time that you give in to those moments, every time you give into those actions and decisions, you're prolonging that finish line.
So I want to bring this up, Brad, because and this is so common, so common. I see it all the time. So we have goals that we're working towards. When you're in a goal work towards stage, you have to be it has to be precision. It has to be, But I do want to bring up the lifestyle aspect of it. When you're in a lifestyle point of it, the board is longer.
Oh yeah.
There's more like if because I find out because and it's just the nature of how we developed the 8 weeks. A lot of people, when we took away the time frame goal, they beat themselves up because they thought that, hey, uh I have to be perfect, forever. And that's not true. You can't you have to be able to give yourself some grace. You have to be able to, you know, uh, if you want to be tight, you want to be on it. But if you're not, you have to give yourself some grace. You have to say, hey, although I fell off yesterday, today's a new day. Let me keep going. Although I had a bad weekend, one of my biggest things was, the weekend. It went from a cheat meal to a cheat weekend. If that happens, if you don't have like something like you work towards a state, if that happens, it's okay. It's Monday. Start fresh, start new. And I always tell people, because I get a lot of those folks that reach out to me, and I say, hey, what I learned is it's a lifestyle. When it's a lifestyle, you continue to make good choices. If you and we talk about it all the time, you win 5 days, and you have a weekend. We're not saying go all out on the weekend, but we're saying like, hey, if a couple events line up, don't beat yourself up. Monday morning, start fresh, keep going. Because you get a bad relationship with food if you have a bad night, have a whatever, and then the next day you try to, I got to do 1,000 calories. I gotta be on a treadmill for 2 hours. No, that's not how it works. It's not how any of this works. When you get in, even when you get into the chemistry of it, you burn less fat exercising than you do sleeping. And you didn't know that, did you? You burn way more fat while you're sleeping, while you're fidgeting, while you're just doing regular stuff than you do while you actually in the exercise frame. So don't get a bad mindset when it comes to lifestyle. If you have a goal, yes, lock in. But when it comes to lifestyle, give yourself some grace.
Yeah, and you do have to give yourself some grace, and the 8 week challenge was amazing for a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people. It got you set up in the right direction. Introduced fasting to a lot of people. It talked about sleep. It talked about stretching. It talked about all the different nutrients your body needs, because a lot of people were like, "Well, I'm only eating this many calories." Well, if you're eating 1,000 calories in zebra cakes versus 1,000 calories in chicken and broccoli, like that's just a total different outcome that you're going to get. So it talked the basic principles of eating.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have to give yourself some grace when you talk about the lifestyle, because a lot of people, even if you're not an extremist like me, a lot of people like that extremely fast weight loss. We want rapid
Mm-hmm.
results. We want it right here, right now. And that's just the society that we live in. Like we grew
Yeah.
up in the 90s. We had Tyra Banks and Lou Ferrigno. That's
Yep.
the folks we looked at and looked up to. And behind the scenes in that era, we don't know what they were doing. I mean, we sort of kind of know what they're doing, but
Right.
and we look at that, and that's kind of what sets up that's what set up people, to have those fast, rapid weight loss results today, is because we look at those people and we're like, I want that and I want it now. And
Yeah.
that's why weight loss meds are so
Oh yeah.
so big right now. And we've talked about it, not knocking them.
Not at
Some
all.
people need that, but you still need to, look at that finish line or whatever your goal is, and say these are the tangible skills and tools that I need to get to that finish line.
Absolutely. And you guys listen to the Bad Podcast, you get all the exclusives. So
Mm,
we're actually working on something for the weight loss man community, man. So we definitely support that community. We have no hate towards it at all, because it actually needs us. Like it needs the physical fitness aspect of it. It can get you down on the weight, but you got to build muscle. If you lose weight without building muscle, then you're not healthy. All those things. So be on the lookout for that. That's coming. Actually, this year, the ball has already started, man. So if you know someone that's on weight loss meds, GLP-1s, get them connected to E2M, because we got something special coming with that. Brad, so I want to go back to kind of the theme of the show, man. Gearing down, hitting the clutch, taking it down a couple of gears before you hit that hill. And I think it really speaks to me as far as you know gearing down and not quitting.
mm,
Although you might not be going full out, sometimes you have to pull back a little bit. And that's something I had to learn. I can just give you an example. For me, when I travel, I don't, you know my leg day is at the studio, and I'm limited because of the equipment there. So
right.
to me, that's a gear down. Like, I'm not going to give up and just not do anything, but I don't have the certain equipment that I have at other gyms. So I'm still going to do something. I'm still going to get some movement, whether it's, something with dumbbells or something. So sometimes you're not going to be able to do the thing you set out to do, but you just have to gear down and not quit. Just keep going. So that
Yep.
that I wanted to kind of relate that, man. 'Cause I thought that was a really good point.
That's a great example, and it's the all or something mantra that Mandy preaches
Yeah.
day in, day out, and it's those something days that bridge the gap from where you were to where you want to be. And the
Fact.
reason that I wanted to talk about the gearing down thing is because of that bike ride, and it's all about anticipation. You anticipate being at the studio for those handful of days, and hey, my leg day ain't going to be as good as it was back home, or whatever your
Mhm.
setup is. And same with bike riding right now. I can see the hill. I don't
Mhm.
want to take on the hill, but I can see it. So I have to anticipate. I'm not going to be able to keep it in high gear. I'm going to have to go to low gear. I'm going to have to, drop a gear and just pedal on. And that's the Kaizen principle that I've been preaching the entire year. It's incremental growth, incremental progression, fractional progression. And that's how you win in the grand scheme. You want to talk about lifestyle. You lose today, well, come back tomorrow and slow roll it.
Mhm.
Just keep on keeping on. One of the things that I had, I got yelled at for this. One of the things that I mentioned a couple of months ago, we were on the treadmill, and I mentioned snail's pace. I said, "All right, all you folks that are at snail's pace, try to get to this speed or something along those lines." And this lady said, "Hey, don't knock us, for being at snail's pace." And I wasn't knocking, but the important thing to remember is if you're at snail's pace or if you're at a turtle's pace, you're lapping those that are at the couch pace, those that are sitting around twiddling their thumbs, thinking about taking action, not making the decision. Like, you're lapping those folks, so
Mhm.
accept that turtle pace is still a pace and it's still moving forward. And that's the important thing. Drop a gear, anticipation, right?
Yeah.
If you're going on a vacation, or if you have a family reunion, anticipate, like, hey,
Yep.
I know there's going to be a cooler full of drinks. I know there's going to be pies. I know there's going to be
Yep.
cakes. I know there's going to be, anticipate that and say, you know what? I'm going to have a sliver of cake. It's not going to
Mhm.
derail me. I'm going to have a sliver of cake, but then I'm going to get right back on track on Sunday or Monday or whatever it is. So
Mhm.
anticipation's big, and having an expectation that maybe today I'll slide off, but I know how to get back on.
Yeah, yeah, definitely plan. My family reunion with this past weekend, I think I mentioned it on the last show. Well, I guess it was the weekend before, whatever. Anyway,
It's
get the days
confusing.
mixed up because it comes up on Monday. But yeah, so I had my meal. I packed it up. I anticipated. And I also anticipated a teasing because I know, you bring your own food to the family reunion, they're gonna have something to say. I anticipated it. I even had to walk through the line, holding my kids' plate. You're like, you're not gonna eat? Like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm not. And it's those awkward moments, but I anticipated it. I knew it. It's funny. My mom was like, "Well, I could tell you didn't want to bring that bag in here. It was all over your face." Because my uncles, man, they'll get you,
Oh,
bro. They
oh
they are they are the
yeah.
master
Hmm.
master at picking on you, and I got something to say. So
Hmm.
I was trying to be discreet, but it's that planning. I recently started just having doing some accountability coaching with some folks, and one of the things that one of my clients mentioned was, I'm now preparing for my trips. Like before, she didn't. Like she would just go,
Huge.
and when she get there, try to figure it out. It's like, no, like you have to prepare. You have to anticipate. You have to think through, and I know you do it, and I do it. Anytime I go somewhere, I'm thinking through, like, okay, what am I gonna do for lunch? What am I gonna do for dinner? Okay, this and that. It's just one of those things, man, where you just you're proactive about it, and that separates you. Going back to turtle pace versus sitting on the couch, like those small little things, just even a quick Google search of a restaurant before you get there.
Yeah.
Those little things, man, are going to be the things that keep you moving forward and keep separating you from those folks that just do whatever.
Yeah. Well, if you aimlessly go through life, man, you're just gonna. I mean, you're gonna be aimless, and you're never gonna hit those targets. You're never gonna hit those goals. You're never gonna hit those things that you really desire in life. And that's like you said, planning is imperative in anything and everything that you do. And just to speak to what you were saying about the family reunion, ain't nobody get knocked as hard as somebody that's trying to be healthy, which is a
No.
really really sad reality, man.
It
Um,
is.
I mentioned it, I think, past podcasts. I don't remember, but if you're eating a cheeseburger and French fries, ain't nobody saying nothing.
Nothing.
If you have chicken and vegetables, and you are the target. You are the
Yes.
target of the day.
Yes.
It's sad, man. It's terrible.
Yes. You can have a plate stacked up, and I seen them, boy,
Mhm.
like
Hey, that's
stacked
pretty
up.
nice.
Yeah. You get compliments for
Oh yeah,
that.
compliment. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
Oh, well, how you making that hot dog balance on the macaroni and cheese like that?
It becomes a topic of conversation, man. It's
Yeah.
it's wild how that goes.
Yep.
And I'd love the script in our society to be flipped, and compliment each other. And maybe this is something that we can start,
Yeah.
compliment each other on, hey, I see the mindful eating, and
Mhm.
and with mindful eating, like for me, like when I go to a family reunion, I do indulge in, this, that, and the other, but
Mhm.
it ain't like the old days when I had the heap and plate, boy. I mean, I
Oh,
would
yeah.
have a heap. I'd balance the hot dog on the mac and cheese. But now, you take a smaller, take a
Yep.
smaller portion size. Instead
Mhm.
of taking a full piece of cake, you take a slice of cake. And so
Mhm.
just being mindful of the decisions and actions that you're making.
Exactly. No, 100%, man. And that in itself you know, will make a difference. And it's funny. So I wasn't the only one that brought my food. I have some vegan cousins that
Mm,
brought their food,
mm,
so
mhm.
they ate their food outside. They were smart. They were
That's a big topic of conversation. My wife's a vegetarian, and
Yeah.
anywhere we go, "Hey, you want the steak medium or rare?" Just give me the vegetables. No, 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 steak. What do you want,
Right.
medium or rare?
Right.
I'm a vegetarian. You what? Oh, what is
Yep.
that word? I mean, it's just, it's uncommon, and I like
Yep.
the uncommon stuff, man. Being uncommon is a rare trait, and it's a neat trait. So be
Yeah.
uncommon, folks.
Be uncommon, man. All right, Brad, as we get ready to land this plane, brother, anything you want to say to the folks on the way out?
Yeah, one thing is this mantra that was introduced to me in college: "Free flag fly." Let your free flag fly. And what this essentially means, folks, is cut loose, let loose, smile like nobody's watching, laugh like nobody's watching, do things that like nobody's watching, for the betterment of yourself and those around you. So, guys, let your free flag fly, cut loose, be uncommon, have some fun with life, because at the end of the day, we're all going 6 feet under. So let's let the free flag fly.
Let's